Welcome to Getting Sketchy Live, brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. And now, let's get sketchy.
Hello there, everyone. Matt here with thevirtualinstructor.com, and welcome to Gettin Sketchy Live, the greatest live broadcast in all of YouTube. Tonight, we're going to be doing episode 6 of season 16, and I'm going to be doing the drawing tonight. I hope everybody is doing fantastic tonight. But like always, I'm joined by Ashley. How are you doing this evening, Ashley?
I'm doing wonderfully, Matt. Thank you for asking. I hope you folks are doing well also. I'm a little jealous. I saw Matt's reference, and it's a favorite subject of mine. So I'll be glad to watch him lead you guys through this drawing in the next hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, Ashley likes cats. I'm not a cat fan. I mean, I've had cats in the past, and I like those cats, but I've somehow become allergic to cats, and I also don't really like their temperament. I think they're moody. But you know what? They make great subjects for drawing, and that's what we're going to be drawing tonight. I'm really more of a dog person, but that doesn't matter because we're going to create a wonderful drawing of this cat.
It's
tonight.
just shapes, Matt. Just shapes and values. Don't think of it as a cat.
I'm definitely not going to think of it as a cat. And if I start sneezing or whatever, it's because of the cat. And if I get these bumps on my neck and my eyes start watering, it's all because of this cat that's sitting right here in front of me.
It's a reaction. What do they call it when it's all in your head? What is that? What is that kind of illness? Psychosomatic. It's a psychosomatic reaction Matt's having to his reference.
No, Charles says you never met the right cat. No, I've had some great cats.
You're right,
past.
Charles.
I really did. Growing up, we had cats occasionally that were our pets. And I liked those cats. But I had a cat in college, and I've talked about it with members before. That was just evil. It was like straight out of Hades. And we got it from this strange man in a strip mall where me and my roommates worked. I mean, it's a long story. I'm not going to go into it here, but that cat was terrible. And, plus I'm allergic to cats. So
that's a good enough reason not to have a cat.
Right.
Sneezing and the hard time breathing. It's totally forgivable.
I can go over to people's houses, and if they have a cat, I start having issues. So anyway, that's beside the point. We're going to be drawing this cat tonight, and I'll have the photo reference up for you during tonight's broadcast. But if you want to find the copy yourself, if you are on thevirtualinstructor.com watching this broadcast, all you have to do is scroll underneath the video. You'll see the resources tab, and you'll be able to see the photo reference, and you can open it up there for yourself and download it. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll need to go to the post tab. Now, to get to the post tab, you'll need to click on the icon of my face underneath this video. That will take you to the community or to the that will take you to the YouTube channel page. Make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell while you're there. And then go to the post tab. Click on the post tab, and then the top post will be the photo reference with a link back to this video. Like I said, I'll have it up during tonight's broadcast so you can follow along. A couple things. First of all, this weekend is Easter, and my family and I have decided that we are going to take a little vacation next week. So what that means is there will be no live broadcast next week. And that includes here Getting Sketchy, but we'll continue the week after that. We're going to take a little well-deserved break next week as a family. And so just a little heads up there for you. Also, if you are here watching this video, if you're watching a live version, I'm getting ahead of myself. If you're watching a live version here on YouTube, there's a chat box, of course. You can ask questions, post comments. If you do have a comment or question that's directed at Ashley or I, we ask that you use the super chat function. It does cost a little bit of money, but it does make your comment or question predominantly displayed in the chat box. And we do a little silly thing for you as well. We would greatly appreciate it if you did that. And if you're wanting to participate in the chat box, you have to be a subscriber. So make sure that you're a subscriber to the channel in order to do that. Even if you're not going to participate in the chat box, make sure that you are subscribed as well and click on the notification bell. Now, as I was saying, if you are here, you like to draw and paint, and you probably want to do that better. So there's no better place to do that than over at thevirtualinstructor.com. There you will find thousands and thousands of art instruction videos on every subject matter and media that you can imagine. We have courses, classes. We do weekly live classes, 2 each week, that are added to the library. We do weekly critiques as part of the Members Minute. And there's also a year-long curriculum for visual arts teachers. All the courses include well-structured video lessons along with illustrated step-by-step ebooks. So there is a ton to learn over there. And right now, in fact, these are the last hours that you'll be able to get membership at the insanely, ridiculously low price that it's at. The membership program has been around since 2010. The virtual instructor has been online since 2009, and the membership program was added a year after that. So we've had the membership program for 16 years, believe it or not, and that is a lot of content. And I have not raised the prices for the membership program in over 10 years. Wow. So it's time to do it. And tomorrow, less than 24 hours from now, the prices will be going up for membership. But for the time being, for the hours that remain here until tomorrow, you can still join the program and have all of our content at a ridiculously, insanely low price. It really is an insane low price. And there's nothing more to buy. Everything's included. So if you want to check out the membership program, there's a link in the description below this video. Also, while you're there, you'll see another link to check out 3 free course videos and ebooks. That will put you on our newsletter list, where I can send you a bunch of free content along the way and give you updates on what we've added to the website as well. So anyway, links in the description below to check that out. You know what you need to do to make a comment. Now the next thing is just to get to the drawing. So let's go ahead and switch over and get into this one. We're gonna start and finish this one. This is not a live lesson class. So let's switch over. All right, there's our little cat here. And I like this reference because of, the angles of the body and the unique positioning that the cat is in. So we're going to try to capture this cat here on our drawing paper. I am using Strathmore toned gray sketch paper. It's really sketch paper. I use it for finished drawings too. I think it's recycled. I'm not really sure. 30% recycled. So there you go. There's a little bit of saving the earth involved in here. But I really like this paper because it is a nice neutral gray to start from. And when we start with a toned surface like a neutral gray like this, it allows us to push our values outward. So we're starting with a value in the middle of the value scale. We can add lights and add darks and create a full range of value in a short period of time. And of course, having to do that in a short period of time is exceptionally important here for Gettin Sketchy, since I'm going to have 45 minutes to create this drawing. Now, I'm going to be using different forms of charcoal. I have a couple of charcoal pencils here. I have a 2B and I have a 6B, and this one says soft and this one says medium, although there's not a real great variety between the medium, soft, and hards here with these pencils. These are General's charcoal pencils. I love this brand. And I'm also going to be using some white charcoal as well. This is also a General's pencil. White charcoal is really not charcoal at all. Ashley and I suspect that it's calcium carbonate, which I understand is another organic material. So it's still kind of maybe a burnt organic material. And I also have a stick of vine charcoal here. This is ultra soft charcoal. It's very easy to blend, easy to manipulate. And I may be using this to block in some shapes of darker value here. And I have a blending stump here. I have a blending stump that gets a lot of use, as you can see. And typically with my blending stumps, I like to have one edge that's for lighter values. So you can see over here, I've been doing some blending with white charcoal, and another edge for darker values. So I've actually been blending mostly graphite with this, but we're going to be blending charcoal tonight with it. And I have a kneaded eraser, which will help us lift up some of the charcoal and maybe refine the drawing a little bit. And a electric vinyl eraser here as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not, but I've got it handy here. You're welcome to use any medium that you want. Using the charcoal is going to make things go a little bit quicker. Now the size of my drawing here is 5.75 inches wide by 6.5 inches tall, which is proportional to the reference photo over here on the left. All right, I see we have a super chat.
We do. The super chat is from Jan. He says, I can't believe Matt is drawing a cat. That cat seems to think about the photographer what Matt thinks about cats. He's suspect.
He is suspect.
He's allergic to chocolate.
Thanks for that super chat there, Jan. We really appreciate it. Jan is always a big supporter of the channel, so we really appreciate it. Yes, Jan asked if we have the membership with auto renewal, will it reflect the new price? No. Once you're in at the price, you're in as long as you keep your membership active. Now, if you cancel your membership or your payment fails, you'll have to pay the new price. But if you're in, you're in as long as you keep your membership active. That's why I say you only have a few more hours to get in. So if you're already a member, then you will renew at the price that you signed up with.
Awesome.
So it's a heck of a deal. So, only a few hours remain. And then the price is going to be a little bit more accurate to what you're actually getting, which right now it is not accurate at all. It is way cheap for what you're getting. It's really a steal. So, all right. So the first thing we're going to do here is we are going to use a charcoal pencil, and I'm going to use it very lightly. So I'm going to hold it at the shaft, at the very bottom of the shaft, and I'm going to start looking for specific lines and shapes that I can plan out, so I can plan out the basic shapes of the cat on the surface. And I'm going to use the edges of the picture plane to make comparisons so I can get everything in the right place. So I just wanted to say that before I started the timer. Are we ready to start the timer?
We are ready.
45 minutes on the clock. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how far down I need to come for the ears. And there's a slight diagonal. So I'm just drawing a line from ear to ear. And it looks like this ear is kind of about that far from the edge of the picture plane. The hind end kind of goes up to the same height
pretty high.
as the ear over there. So I can use that same line there.
This is a long cat. It almost looks like two cats.
Yeah.
One cat following the other. Now, I said before that this is one of my favorite subjects, but not just because it's a cat, because it's a black cat. I've had 3 black cats, and 2 of them I lost a little early, before their time.
Okay, so I'm just kind of got the initial kind of light sketch for the back edge of the body. Now I'm going to just go ahead and bring this down, and I'm going to look at where the middle of the picture plane is. The middle is probably about right there, and it looks like this body comes down almost in the middle, but not
just
quite.
to the inside of it. Yeah. Good eyes. That the back end of that cat is its own distinct shape. It's so foreshortened. It so overlaps the front half.
Trying to be very loose here with my lines. Nothing that I'm putting down is permanent. Okay, everything can be changed. Just trying to get down as much shape information as I can, and then I'll start making comparisons here. Looks like this leg right here might come down a little bit further than the one right here. And I hate creating drawings where the feet go into the grass, but it just reminds me of you're a kid and you don't want to draw the feet, so you put the grass blades there.
Oh yeah,
I think people still
doing that.
Some people still do that. I bet.
I drew grass over their feet, and with their hands were always behind their backs. Apparently, all the families all that drew, mom, dad, brother, me, we were all being arrested. Just couldn't see the handcuffs.
Don't need to fear the feet. How many people fear the feet? All right, I'm getting an idea of the head here. Looking at angles, like the edge of the head that comes down, and then
I like how you started with just a circle, and now you're kind of complicating that shape, finding some sides to it.
The ear come over here. Well, we haven't drawn the ear, but maybe somewhere right in here.
PJ asks, have you tried Derwent charcoals? The light is literally gray and they're extremely smooth.
I haven't, but I don't know if I'd want a gray charcoal pencil. I kind of like my charcoal to be black or white. But if it's Derwent, I'm sure it's good. Derwent pencils are fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and go back to this shape. I'm going to start to refine it a little bit more.
But he says, in your latest drawing lesson, you teach us how to see shapes in any subject. Are you still considering them in this cat?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's what I'm starting with. They're shapes.
Yep.
Now there could be, this could definitely be broken down into smaller, simpler shapes. I've kind of drawn more organic shapes initially.
You could start the back end with a rectangle.
Right. Yeah. And the reason why I'm starting with more organic shapes here is just to save time. I'm trying to go very quickly here, as you can probably imagine why.
We did see Matt use a circle for the head initially. It's a geometric shape.
Well, these are shapes here. Even though, I'm starting to draw a little bit of the contour, there's still shapes in here.
You could look at the front half of the body minus the legs as a triangle to start, and then separate that triangle between the head and the body. So there's always room to start even more simply, but not always time in our case.
Yeah. All right. Here's the bottom of the jaw. That goes right down into the neck. And then got this little piece that kind of comes out kind of right underneath the eye. So a little bit of a bulge there. And we can use that to go right up there and find where the edge of the eye is going to be located.
I love that. Using one part to find another part. See how they line up vertically or sometimes horizontally.
Trying to get an idea where the nose is going to be located.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm getting basic shapes in place, then I can use what I've got on the surface to find more information about other parts of the drawing.
Love how the charcoal looks on this paper.
Yeah, a little bit of tooth.
A little bit.
All right, second leg, or the front leg here. I'm going to find out how high up it goes. We'll say about right here. Just bring that down a slight little curve here. And I'm kind of using the side of the pencil to make these marks. So the marks are, they're not hard lines. They're a little bit softer. We got our grass blade sticking up. It's the only thing I don't like about this
Great
reference.
job capturing the gesture of our cat so far.
All right, before we draw this little space in between, we'll go ahead and put a little bit of an idea of where this other leg comes down. And there's kind of an open space right
Tiny
there. Let's go ahead and
empty shape there.
let's go ahead and add the tail now. Now the tail is kind of like a cylinder, and it comes off about right here, let's say. And we'll just draw it kind of as a curved cylinder. And we'll think of it that way. And then it wraps back around to about right there, maybe.
Audra says, some artists find cats easier to draw as their eyes are on the same forward-facing plane like people. Do you find this true over other animals like dogs or horses where the eyes are not both on the same plane? And it's like that with a lot of the predator animals. Their eyes are on the front of their face. Does that seem to help you, Matt?
I really don't consider things like that as making things easier or harder. I kind of feel like every subject is a manageable subject, and nothing. I feel like if I just keep my basic understanding of drawing in my mind, and I look for basic shapes,
because you're not drawing from imagination,
right? I feel like I can draw anything, and I really feel like you guys can too. I don't feel like some subjects are going to be easier because maybe they're less time consuming. But I don't think in terms of this subject is harder than another subject because of reason A, B, or C, and if that makes sense. I know that people think that way, and that's fine. But I have never really considered certain subjects as being necessarily easier because of reasons, as you mentioned. And that's just me personally. But less detail, or for me, I think less detail seems easier because it's just less time consuming.
Mhm.
So I don't really like to think in terms of more challenging or less challenging. I just kind of
maybe
like to think
more,
of terms
more
of
work or less work.
more work
labor.
or less work. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah.
All right. PJ says, shout out to Matt for helping me get my account solidified. I'm so happy
Oh,
to be a new
PJ, I
member.
talked to PJ today on the phone.
Yeah. God bless you for all of your hard work.
Oh, absolutely. And glad we got things worked out for you there, PJ. All right. There is a part of the body that kind of comes up and curves around here. Kind of a middle part, and it's just a little bit of a lighter value. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark
the
that
rib
right
cage
now.
area.
And now we're going to be kind of keeping the background a little bit loose. And so we're going to go ahead and add some of the details to the face here. And kind of marked out where the eyes are, but it looks like on the corner of the nose, we're going to use that as a guideline. It's not right above. Actually, on this side, it is. The corner of the eyes
Yeah,
right
because
above.
that head's slightly turned. It's not totally facing us, is it?
Right. But on the other side, it's not quite there in alignment with the nose. So go ahead and draw a shape for the eyes. Not going to be super detailed since this drawing's not super large.
Edie mentions the Artemis rocket taking off to the moon. I was watching that just a few minutes ago while we were, Matt was introducing the show. So I'm not watching now. So hopefully everything's still going well. But even with the volume down, it was inspiring seeing that rocket let go of the launch pad. Such controlled power, such violence. Love seeing rockets take off. So good luck to the Artemis crew on their mission to the moon.
I think this cat is going to have a sneaky, sly look. I think that's just going to naturally happen
because he's a cat.
That's what cats are always up to no good.
That's true. My cat's up to no good right at bedtime every single night.
They're always looking for something to eat or destroy.
Yeah, he waits. He waits until he knows I'm almost asleep, then jumps on my stomach.
All right. Now we're going to take some vine charcoal, and we're just going to go to town here and just get some material on the surface, and then we're going to move it around. So
vine charcoal, super lightweight, super loose, and manipulatable. Do you plan to move into compressed charcoal later in the hour?
Yeah, we're going to use a charcoal pencil.
Okay, using the pencils.
Yeah.
Just painting it in there.
Just getting some dark value in place here. It can be loose and quick. Let's see if we can take the eraser right along the edge here. Clean that up.
Edie asks, does vine charcoal stick? It is very movable. So, it doesn't really stick to the paper. It wipes down, and a lot of it will wipe off very easily.
Yeah, you can be very loose and quick with the vine charcoal here, because it is easy to manipulate, unlike the compressed charcoal. Compressed charcoal is a little bit harder to manipulate because it's harder.
You think of it as just more permanent, and it's darker too. Vine charcoal looks pretty dark till you put that compressed charcoal down next to it. Janet says, thanks, Matt, for the lowdown on the membership pricing. I locked mine in yesterday. So happy to learn from you and Ashley.
Oh, well, very good. And welcome to the family.
And PJ wonders if you've tried graphite or charcoal powder, perchance.
Yes. Yes. We have several lessons using.
The most
Both?
recent was jellyfish, right? Was that?
No, we did it did the landscape after the jellyfish with powdered graphite.
That's right.
Yeah. There's a bunch of lessons, or there's a few. There's more than a few lessons. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's go over here. We just want to get kind of a light application on here, covering things up too much.
Jan says that Vine Charcoal has a built-in undo button. That's a good way to think of it.
It does have a built-in undo button, so we can get value in place here relatively quick and be kind of loose and painterly with it, which is what I love charcoal. I mean, I love working with charcoal. And so many people are scared of it. Don't want to use it.
If cavemen can draw with charcoal, we can all draw with charcoal.
You know what came to my mind?
What's that?
Unfrozen caveman lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
So this is charcoal. You say you can draw with charcoal? I'm just a caveman. You remember those skits?
Yeah.
With
Were they
Phil
commercials? Yeah. You're talking about on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Unfrozen caveman lawyer.
Making an argument.
All right. Let's.
Now we're going to stick with
highlights here.
We're going to stick with prehistoric drawing media for the rest of this series. And next week I'm going to use mud and dirt, and the following week Matt's going to draw in blood.
That's true. Ashley's blood.
That's the theme.
I'm pretty sure that might be a April Fool's joke. You know, I was thinking we should do some April Fool's joking, but you never know. I couldn't think of anything that would be really good for April Fool's jokes. But back when I was in the classroom, I would always have fun each year with April Fools. And one year I told the students, there were some people walking around the school, like there normally is. But there were some people walking around the school, and the kids didn't know who they were and stuff. And I said, well, they found, it's very serious what's going on. And they're like, what's going on? I said, they found hydrogen dioxide in our water fountains here. And they're like, oh my gosh. And I said, yeah. I said, if you inhale hydrogen dioxide, you will die. And it's very serious.
And it's in all the pipes.
I had kids saying, I'm going to sue the school.
I bet they were all.
I said, it is all over the school. There is hydrogen dioxide everywhere. And boy, they were going crazy. And of course, I guess hydrogen dioxide is water, but.
Is it dihydrogen oxide? Or hydrogen dioxide. I
called it whatever it was supposed to be.
Okay.
Dihydrogen oxide.
We used to know for sure, but that's great.
All right. I'm going in with the compressed charcoal now, and then we're going to start refining things a little bit, and we're going to go back with the white charcoal too. So things are going to slow down just a little bit as we start to pull out these details and get some of these.
You've got time, you've got all that value and all the shapes in place in only about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we can already see the cat already.
Working with the eraser.
That's what I love about charcoal. I mean, look at that. Look at how quickly that was done. But you just got to allow it to do its work. You got to
do its thing.
Be a little loose with it. Not try to be too controlled. That's one thing that people kind of make a mistake with charcoal is they get super controlled with it, as I'm getting super controlled with it.
Jan says dihydrogen oxide. Every other combination of those words kills you. Edie says it's a beautiful kitty. Already, it's a beautiful kitty.
Well, thank you.
I was watching a program about cats
Yeah.
a week or two ago, and I didn't know.
Not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm in
the
between the
reason,
sumo wrestling.
I'm the reason YouTube has cat videos.
Ashley's the reason.
Yeah, and I know you guys don't watch them, and but I didn't know that most orange cats are male. So I learned something about cats
really?
recently. Because I've never had an orange cat. In fact, I'm on my first male cat. I've always had females, and he is fantastic. He's fantastic. I'd always avoided boy cats, and I'm glad I got one. All right, Buddy says, which pastel brand did win last week?
I didn't think there was a contest, so I didn't really add them up. I just kind of read the comments.
Oh, you didn't add them.
I didn't add them up.
Okay. Do you remember?
Well, why don't you guys tell us what your favorite cat is in the comments?
Perfect.
There you go. Or what's your favorite animal?
There are
Let's just do
cat
favorite
breeds,
animals.
but you could say what type of cat, in the way like I have a tuxedo cat now, and I think I'm always going to have tuxedo cats. They're fantastic. They look sharp all the time. I've had black cats. Never had a calico, which is more likely to be female. I learned a couple of weeks ago in the program I was watching. I had no idea that their coloration correlates with their gender.
No,
for some of them.
I had a calico cat. I had a really good calico cat back when I liked cats.
Buddy says, what is a tuxedo cat? Those are the cats that are mostly black, but they have white feet or white legs and white on their chest, like how a white shirt shows under a black tuxedo. So they're mostly black, but with some white chest and bellies. Sometimes, a lot of times, like the bottom portion of their face is white. That's how mine looks. Looks like he's wearing a mask.
Okay, let's go ahead and get.
All right, we got some fans in here for all black cats and black and white cats and a Somali. That's a long-haired cat, and of course, I've always wanted one of the outlier breeds like the hairless cats. I really want one of those, and I'm not going to get one because they weird my wife out. Or a Mancoon, the really large cats. Oh yeah, PJ has a gray tuxedo cat. That's right, because tuxedos don't come in just black. It's more about the pattern of their markings than the color. So they can be gray too. Very good. Buddy's never seen a tuxedo cat. I know what we're drawing next week. But not next week, because we won't be here next week.
Right,
That's a reminder to myself. I'm going to be knocking on the door next Wednesday, and nobody's going to be in the studio.
There'll be nobody home. All right, with the white charcoal, and then lighten this up a little bit. We can start to see a little bit of that contrast work.
Yep, very nice. Jenny Purr says, I love black cats.
Well, Jenny Purr probably likes all cats. Little highlight right there, and another little highlight right here too. I don't know if you can see it or not, but all right, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of white charcoal. I'm gonna be working from the left side to the right side. I'm already smearing the heck out of the compressed charcoal, which is fine. It's not an issue, but go ahead and get some of the white charcoal on here, and we'll just develop this drawing from the left to the right.
Brett says he likes Cadillacs.
I like Cadillacs. Cadillacs a lot better than cat animals. little mixture of dark and light here.
Paula says, I just spent the last 30 minutes signing up for the membership. Very excited. I need lesson plans for my new adventure of teaching art for a homeschool co-op in my area.
Oh my goodness. You've got everything you need to teach.
Is the right word. You're going to love it though.
Yeah.
Adventure's the word.
Now, I'm sure you probably know you've got a whole year's curriculum at your disposal, which is all of the materials you need to teach, everything. You can add, you can subtract from it, but everything is there.
That should smooth out your transition into the art classroom.
Boy, can you imagine if something like that existed when we were...
No, that would have been great. Buddy says my first cat was red and loved to get a ride in my dog carriage I had back then. They're like little babies. Edie loves Siamese cats. I think you should be required to have two always, not one. They should come in pairs. I can remember the first Siamese cats that I met. They were so beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna have to go a little faster. I'm kind of getting caught up in the weeds here.
Wrapped up in the details.
Yeah, I need to.
Well, as long as you're wrapped up in the focal point, you can make it work.
Right, but gotta go a little quicker here. All right, somebody had mentioned earlier about looking for shapes, and that is exactly what I'm doing right now as I'm filling in the darker values. I'm looking at the shapes of values that are created and filling those in. Let's get a little bit of that charcoal down here.
Audra says, I had a doctor who loved his ragdoll cat and said it hung limp like a ragdoll when you picked up that species. Strange. Like a stuffed animal.
Cut off a little bit of this.
Give him a shave. That electric eraser.
You look a little more angular. A little more mischievous. A little bit of lighter value right there.
Blue Sapphire Girl says, forgot the paper trick and have smudged all over my paper. LOL. Thankfully, it erases easily. Yeah, but those values that you smear probably incorporate right into your environment, your background. Edie, I see your comment about domestic cats and urinary blockage. And I don't know what that is either, buddy. My cats are, they're of course domestic, but I always let them go outside, even though my vet tells me not to. So maybe that helps. Oh, Hadra would like to know which of the lemon pastel pieces got the most votes.
It was the third one. It was the one I did for the live show.
Number three,
Yeah.
and she voted for number 2. She reminds us. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I think number 2 is my favorite.
That was a really fun to see the variations and get a chance to weigh in on them. You know, all one word caps. I see your comment about cats being bad for birds, and cats are they're they're predators. They do manage the bird population, but I guess my cat is preoccupied with chasing the chipmunks and seems to mostly leave the birds alone because we've got bird feeders and 2 bluebird houses, and I was really worried about putting them up, afraid that it was just gonna be carnage out there. So either he's slow and or the birds are fast, or he's just more interested in other critters because he never seems to catch a bird. Thankfully, because I do love birds, and I keep binoculars by my windows, and so that I can always find them because we've got great birds in my neighborhood. The bluebirds, in their houses, they've been building nests in the last week, and got woodpeckers and hawks. And of course, you guys know that I'm trying to befriend a murder of crows, and it's going pretty well. I followed you guys' advice. I got some peanuts with no salt in the shells, and I have been throwing them out to the crows. And for my first attempt, I realized that because the crows were already there, I shouldn't have called them. So I started doing my crow call, and I think it scared them.
If you were out there doing your crow call, it would have scared me.
Yeah. And I was doing it by myself, and I started to feel self-conscious because we do have neighbors.
You need to record what you're doing and bring a video in, because I would love to see.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that
out there.
You guys we'll make an extra window, and we can pop that video up for you. So I told my kids that the next time I try to feed crows and they're not there, and we need to call them, that I would feel better if one of them would do it with me, just so we either look crazy together or like we have a plan. So in any case, I do have the peanuts, the unsalted in the shells peanuts, and we're just going to keep at it until they start to recognize my car and come when I come home, when I get home from work. That's my hope, is that they'll meet me in the driveway. Buddy says you live in a wonderful area, but even in the middle of a town, I can manage to get birds' nests in my little garden. Oh, yeah. Now, I did have a bird's nest over the weekend in what we call our mud room. It's just like a little room attached to the back of the house where we keep shoes and coats and things like that. And my wife and I got up, and there were 2 starlings building a nest in our mud room, and I felt awful, but I had to take their nest out, because we do have a cat and I want to protect them. So they can definitely not have a nest inside part of our house. We leave the mudroom door open usually. It's kind of just kind of leave the door open a lot. And either we're gonna have to close it, at least while the birds are building nests right now, because that is not where, I know it feels safe. It's out of the rain, and it's out of the, it's kind of a shelter. But the cat will definitely get them in the mudroom. That'll make it too easy for the cat.
Right.
All one word caps says only 13 minutes left.
I know.
Nervous.
I just looked at the clock and I'm freaking out here. Freaking out.
Raisin Hearted finally got a nesting pair of bluebirds in the house that they've had out front for years. That's fantastic. That's great. You're going to enjoy it. I love it. And, you don't always get bluebirds. Sometimes the house stays empty for a season, and sometimes you get starlings instead. And but I'm glad you got some bluebirds. It's tough for them. There's a lot of competition out there now for the bluebirds. So we got to give them the best chance at nesting and reproducing.
blending a little bit loose there so that the marks are still a little visible. Go ahead and pull out some whiskers here.
There we go. Yeah, it's cool. The whiskers are light on one side, but because of the background's lightness, they're dark on the other.
So we'll hold off on the other whiskers. And try to get some information back here.
Jan says Matt doesn't even have time to pause and reflect.
I don't.
That's
a good one. I get it.
The pun, that's a good one, Jan.
I get it. That is a good one.
A lot of darkness back there. Just that black fur is just soaking up the light.
Should have used a compressed charcoal stick instead of a pencil. I'm having to cover a little bit more area than I expected.
Now, are you planning on sort of using your stump through the background, or maybe just putting in some shadow?
I'm going to put some white contrast.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the plan, but there's not a lot of time left. So
a lot of that background is lighter than the paper.
Yeah, I'm not going to put in the entire background.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see, 9 minutes.
Jenny Purr says she had a black cat that everyone called the devil cat. He hated everyone but her. And your cat looks a lot like him. Name was Coco.
I kind of purposely made this cat look a little more sinister. Narrowing the eyes a little bit, glaring down the person that
it looks like it's turning around to launch at the screen,
like how to
tear up whatever it can get its claws.
What kind of nerve do you have to look at me? Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look at me. Don't look at me.
We call our cat a dog because he listens. He comes when we call him. We think he understands us. He'll meow at us. We'll tell him, go downstairs. There's food in your bowl. And he likes an escort. He likes to be walked to his food dish, even when he knows it's full. But if you tell him to go on his own, he will. But you have to tell him. Otherwise, he prefers the escort. And he was raised with a dog, like a mature dog. So I think he's just picked up on the idea that animals listen to humans. So thank goodness for that. All right, he's flicking his tail at us.
Yeah, I want to get some kind of more expressive marks in this. So kind of just letting things be a little bit looser.
Just
here.
Close your eyes and wiggle that stump around.
Well, this part, just whatever.
You see where they land.
See what happens. That part of the drawing is not really in focus, or the reference in focus anyway.
That's true. It's a very narrow space that's sharp.
I'm going to let this be a little bit looser. I'm still going to refine it, but it's okay if it's a little bit more shape.
It's a little bit like the charcoal drawing we're doing over at the live lesson. It's a little out of focus closest to the viewer and farther, even though there's not a lot of space in the picture. You can make that happen with the charcoal. It's very easy to soften your edges if you want to kind of create that photography effect. It's up to you. You can sharpen those edges. If you prefer everything sort of evenly rendered.
Just going to pull out some subtle highlights here and there with the white charcoal pencil. Especially around the edges of the tail. It looks like this cat has some banding on its tail.
I've been told that all black cats like are striped. They're just black with black stripes. And I've seen that on the black cats that I've owned when the sun hits them, even on their side, I'll kind of faintly see stripes if they're being hit by really strong light. I don't know if that's true, that they're really striped, just of the same color, or if it's a legend. But you can definitely see that in the tail.
Mm-hmm. Legend of the cats.
All right, Matt has found his little negative shape there that separated that mass into legs. Again, we lost it for a while with the vine charcoal. I think the edges have a little feeling of, contribute to a feeling of movement. Feel the cat turning. Oh, and WordCap says, anyone drawing along? I find it too fast for me. And, I think about that.
It's too fast for me.
It always feels too fast. So you don't have to feel like you're
this
not
is
doing it right if you're not keeping up, because these are blazing quick sketches.
And, the first few episodes of Getting Sketchy I did, 30 minutes.
That seems wild.
I don't know how I did it. But it was just graphite on white paper, pretty much every.
Oh, okay.
One of them.
So that medium helped.
Yeah.
Graphite is a quick medium. It's all monochromatic.
Simple subjects.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep those eyes narrow.
Yeah, I like that.
Instead of being more wide open, but I am gonna make them a little bit lighter, just a little bit. That we've got some dark value in place. There we go.
Now, Mary Elizabeth wonders if you chatted back then. The 30-minute lessons, were you still talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By myself. I'm pretty good at talking to myself. So, all right. Now I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to frame things out with some strategically placed light values or light white charcoal.
Compositionally focused marks. All right.
Then we might
Looking
add
good.
some indications of some grass blades here. We can't have these feet just sitting here without the grass blades covering them up, right?
Janine says that she draws on separate days, and Like I'm assuming you mean like you draw along with the recorded version of the video. And sometimes we have Getting Sketchies that I think would make for great lessons in the classroom. And that's kind of what we do. You know, I'll start the videos and let it go for a little bit and then pause the video while I walk around the classroom and do some checks and see how things are going. And with the pausing, that slows it down a little bit, so it's a little easier to keep up with. And, you know, a 45-minute drawing can stretch into 2 class periods if you use it as sort of a guided practice lesson. Audra says, my husband is originally from South Carolina, and we both find your accents lovely and soothing. Thanks for your draws and drawing. Oh, it's wonderful to hear.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody finds our accent soothing.
Yeah, we don't always get comments.
Like guys, you do not know what I have been through with my accent, with people saying things. I mean, there was a thread on one video. Now, granted, this video has millions of views, but one video, somebody said something about the way I say the word drawing. And I think there were 40, I know, hundreds of comments
to that
on the way I say drawing. And if you read what people said, you would be absolutely shocked. I mean, I was shocked. And it's, that's crushing.
I mean, I don't think it's so bad that you guys need to turn captions on or anything like that.
Of course not.
But you know, it's a big country, a lot of accents, and then there's all the other.
It's a big world.
English accents around the world, and multiple in each English-speaking country. So, a lot of variety out there. There are some TV shows that I've watched, like on BritBox before, where I've needed the captions.
Oh, for sure. All right, so we're just strategically placing this bit of white around here. Give it a little bit more of an artistic look. Keep it loose and sketchy looking. Make it a little.
Yeah, I like how the marks are a little stronger at the bottom, and they're just kind of, getting looser and lighter as you go off into the distance. You know, and it helps them to look darker, getting some of that white pencil around them. Relative nature of value.
Kind of accentuate that.
Audra says, well, there. I'd say to the meanies, bless their hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very South Carolina of you.
Bless their hearts. Bless your heart. By the way, if you are not from the South and someone says, bless your heart, it's not a good thing. If you didn't know that. They're not really saying bless you. Maybe us Southerners should keep that kind of stuff to ourselves. All right, I'm gonna pull out a few black whiskers over here.
It's our passive aggressive nature. So, all right, there's the black whiskers. So light whiskers on our right, dark on our left. Just because of the contrast of what they're in front of, that's the way they appear.
All right, and I know our time is up.
Our time together is growing short.
And
little black pencil down there. Yeah, because it's closer to us, you know. So
just to give it a little bit of, there's needs to be a little cast shadow underneath this cat.
Shadow and a little bit of black down there in the negative space helps to unite the piece. Oh yeah, there we go. Now he's making contact with the surface. That made good sense. Good call.
Oh, but
there
you know what? We need a little bit more on this edge. Yes. That brings it all the way out to the edge, but I know the time's up.
Oh gosh.
I do this all the time, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Every once in a while, Matt or I will make a drawing that feels like we're in the right place, right when the timer goes off.
Well, you did one last week and finished it within the time.
Was it the penguin?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Penguin was in the time frame.
Yeah, the penguin's grown on me for the last week. I've been looking at it. I like it more.
All right. Well, there's the kitty cat. Black cat.
All right. Excellent.
Out to do something something bad.
Something nefarious.
Yeah.
Oh, black cats get such a bad rep. They need love too.
Well, one thing you might notice is this little area right here.
Mm-hmm.
I made a decision to bring that space up right there because I felt like in the photo reference, the overlapping that happened right there, there just wasn't enough separation.
Right. It may not really be overlapping. They just may be in line with each other, and it makes the leg look wide.
Maybe so.
Like we imagine it just keeps going, but it would almost be too wide. So I think that was a good use of your artistic license.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more like this is further off in the distance because it's a little smaller, and it looks like the leg or arm or whatever it is bending back around.
That's good. I'm glad you drew our attention to that change that you made.
Well, I wanted to point it out because somebody else would point it out if I did. And I could add. Well,
Peggy says I like it.
I don't want to get too carried away.
Jenny says it looks fantastic, thoroughly evil.
Yeah, a little bit of a sneaky cat. All right.
Jan says perfect.
The last minute has 300 seconds. It has more than 300 seconds, actually. I think I went longer than an extra 6 minutes. Well, that would be maybe an extra 5 minutes. Extra 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yep.
So 300 seconds. That's right.
All right, guys. That'll wrap up this drawing for this week. And next time we're together, Ashley's going to be doing the drawing. I'm not sure if he's decided on what that is or not.
I've got a little extra time to decide since we'll be off next Wednesday and back with you the following Wednesday. So my drawings have been entirely unrelated so far, so we'll keep that going.
I thought there was some kind of relationship there.
Snowboarders, I guess, and penguins. They both like
cold environments.
Yeah, cold environments. And let's see, the knight's helmet and axe; those are made of cold steel. So I guess there's some.
Well, that's not a stretch. Cold steel.
Cold steel.
Isn't that the look that?
It's blue steel, right?
Blue steel. That's
blue
right.
Steel.
Should be cold steel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Well, let's switch back out over here then. Alrighty, guys. So again, just a reminder, next week we are going to take the week off. Sunday is Easter, and kind of at the last minute, my family has decided that we are going to go out of town. So I think that's a good idea. We kind of need a little bit of a rest, so that's what we're going to be doing. But we will be right back the week after that, and we'll continue on with the 7th episode of this season. And don't forget, at the end of each season, we have a critique show where we go back and look at our drawings, and we talk about all the things that we like about them and things that we would change about them. And there's lots of opportunities to talk about things that we would change because, with this time constraint, there's a certain amount of time that you can get things done. Now, I don't want you to be deceived. When we do finished drawings, when you do finished drawings, take your time. Don't try to rush and do it quickly. In today's age, we see all this stuff on Instagram everywhere of 20-hour paintings, broken down into 30 seconds, and think that that's how things happen, and they really don't. So take your time, work slowly, but these sketching exercises are very valuable as well. So take the time to practice in your sketchbook and time yourself and learn how to sketch quickly and learn how to see the shapes, learn how to recognize the values and position the shapes of values. And that's really what drawing's all about. And, quick practice it is great because when it's time to slow down and spend the time creating that longer drawing, then your eye is more trained and you can really focus on what you're seeing and really make adjustments when necessary. So these sketching exercises are valuable exercises for you to practice, but keep in mind that these are not finished drawings. But the skills that you learn by practicing these little timed drawings will carry over into your more finished work. Ashley, you got anything for the folks?
I thought that was a nice blast of really good advice there at the end. And I noticed that Matt's flexing how white his shirt stayed while he worked with charcoal over there. Great job, Matt. Keeping it clean over there.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping it clean. I'm using charcoal in the live class in the 25 minutes. And so I'm just going to try to keep it off my face. We'll see how that goes. But if you're joining us over there, then resharpen your charcoal pencil because we're going to be using it again in about 25 minutes.
All right. Somebody asked, Brazen Hearted asked, how long into the members lesson? We do 2 members only live streams a week now. We have 2 shows. There's Mondays with Matt, which is on Mondays at 12 o'clock p.m. or 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. And then we have Live with Matt and Ashley, which is on Wednesday evenings after the show at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And all of these lessons are recorded and put in our vault. We do these lessons in series, so they're finished pieces of artwork. But sometimes we do kind of media exploration and concept study, like the current series in Mondays with Matt right now is Drawing Bootcamp 2.0, where I'm teaching students how to see as an artist, and we're nearing the end of that series. I think we've just completed lesson 9 of that series. So that's 9 hours of instruction just with that class series. And Ashley's going into hour number 2 of his drawing with charcoal on white charcoal paper. He's doing a very complex and detailed drawing of a trumpet. So, I mean, in your mind, you might think a trumpet. Well, it's a very complex image. It's going to be really cool when it's finished. So that will start at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I think that's it. Remember, next week we won't see you guys, but the week after that we will. And I hope you guys have a great evening or daytime or whatever it is. And remember, in the comments below, tell us what your favorite cat is, or your favorite dog, or what your favorite animal. Tell us what your favorite pet is. Favorite animal doesn't have to be a pet. It can be whatever.
Any animal in the world.
Yeah. Any animal in the world, but don't put Ashley. Okay. All right. You guys have a great evening. Good night, everybody.